A new Defense Department review of the U.S. withdrawal is currently underway and follows previous reviews by the Department of Defense, U.S. Central Command, the State Department, and Congress. NewsNation's Joe Khalil live for us at the Pentagon. Joe, many of the families involved here say the answers they want have nothing to do with politics.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of these families are still seeking comfort and peace and some kind of accountability as well. Because it is the 4-year anniversary tomorrow officially of the withdrawal and Tuesday of that bombing 4 years ago. A lot of those families were in the nation's capital. Many of their sons and daughters are buried actually not far from each other at Arlington National Cemetery. So every year now since 2021, it has brought many of them here. And we got a chance to speak with a couple of them, some on camera, some off camera. You mentioned that on Monday they were invited to the White House for that signing ceremony where there was a proclamation President Trump put forward and signed that honored the sacrifices, not just of the deceased Marines and service members, but also the sacrifices of those families, too. I know a lot of those families really appreciated that moment. So again, we've been speaking throughout the last 4 years to these families. They've made several trips to Capitol Hill for hearings, for memorials, for ceremonies, and we've got a chance to sort of get to know them, many of them. Who we're going to highlight today are Kelly Barnett and Darren Hoover. These are the parents of Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, who was one of the 13 that was killed in Kabul outside of the Hamid Karzai airport on that fateful day back in 2021. They've told us, we were asking after 4 years, that is certainly not a long time, but some distance from the event. And as they've gone through these last couple of years, whether, it's gotten any easier to accept the reality, this is what we heard from both of them, who still say it's obviously a struggle every day to go through life without their son.
This year's been the worst. I think when we had so many memorials and so many celebrations and so many times that we were together, and things have slowed down, and we've had that time to okay, this is our life now. That I have to process this, and it's been a really hard year. It's gotten harder.
I remember those 2 Marines standing at my door. And what an empty, horrifying feeling that was.
Yeah, and that's a moment you imagine that they will never, ever forget. They continue to honor their son, Taylor. They told me that he was a tough, buff Marine, strapping on the outside, but he had a really soft heart and a big heart on the inside, and that's how they are going to remember Taylor. And it was just mentioned, Nichole, that these families, as we've observed, really have become their own sort of community. They've been bound together by this common tragedy, but it does help, they tell me, that they're not going through this alone or in isolation. Sometimes it can feel that way, they tell me, but the fact that they've got these other families to lean on, it does sort of strengthen them in those really dark moments.
Yeah, such massive losses for all of those families. And Joe, they say they want greater accountability for what happened to their loved ones. What are they calling for specifically?
Yeah, so they've been very upfront. Most of these families, we heard them talk at the RNC. They have gone to several congressional hearings where we've seen them. There have been investigations done, and they've been pushing those investigations. What they say that they still have not really gotten is much accountability. They've seen officers who were in command, both on the ground and elsewhere, Pentagon and State Department, who have since gotten promoted. I've talked to senators who voted to promote many of these officers who feel like they were qualified, but a lot of these families don't feel that way. A lot of them say, they would like to see somebody held accountable in some way, some consequence. I'm not sure that is ever coming, and I don't think they're sure that will ever come. But that is sort of what they say that they're going to continue to push for and to look. They were pressing the Biden administration for that. They say they'll continue to press the Trump administration for that. So I think those are some things that these families are still sort of holding on to, whether that ever does come to fruition or not.
Yeah, they want answers regardless of who is in office. All right.
Yeah.
Joe Khalil at the Pentagon, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.